Okay, I think we're live on YouTube. So, okay, guys, let's start. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. I don't think we have quite a lot of people in because not many people know that it's going to happen, and we're back to normal. So I want to thank those of you who are here for coming. This week we will be back to normal and we will have the daily webinars. So be prepared to help share the link so that everybody can get it. For a lot of questions on the upcoming webinar, upcoming course that I'm having, it's a course in January. It will be in late January. You can sign up for that course right now. You can just go to Skype. My Skype ID, let me type my Skype ID. Oops, that would be a problem. Let me just use this to type. It's MANGAL. I'll type it in the chat because MANGAL. It's Mangal 457. I should put it, sorry, I should put it to everyone so everyone can see that. Let me retype that. Yes. So let's go. I will have to use the drawing tool from Zoom because I don't have my drawing tool on. I just reset the entire computer. We had to reset Windows. So I'll use the drawing tool from here, annotation, and get this. This webinar will be a little slower today because of, the inconvenience of not having my drawing tool. So if you give me 3 minutes, I'll talk about the upcoming course and then we'll move on because I just really don't want to spend a lot of time on that. It's going to be in late January. Skype me, you will get all the info you need. I promised someone to answer some basic questions about the course because I think about 10 people sent me the same questions, how it's structured and what we do. So I'm going to go pretty fast. It's a 5 weeks training course. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to be very careful because there are a lot of people trying to scam you out there. One guy is trying to sell the course for, promising people that if they give him $200, $300, or $500, he's going to give them my course when he takes the course. He's going to give them the materials. Don't believe that. It's not true. You can't get the materials because it's not downloadable. If you manage to download it using another program, right, and you shared it, it becomes an offense. Actually, we do have a court case with one guy from Norway. So you really don't want to get involved in that. It's not worth the deal. The second thing you should know about it is that the materials themselves, even if you get them, you're not going to make a lot of good progress with them. Because what we do is we train you on them. We give you the materials and then we give you the training sessions. So the program is structured this. 1 week it's class. 1 week it's practice. 1 more week is class. And 2 weeks practice. That's 5 weeks. After this 5 weeks, all you have is the materials and how you're going to use them. You are not a trader as yet. You're not trading wave theory as yet. You're not using wave theory to trade as yet. We do give you the strategies and we do give you the money management classes that we do. After that, you're in a group for us for live. You have live access. You have lifetime access, I should say, lifetime access to a group that we are in. You're not paying for that lifetime access. You just get it automatically when you take the course. Now you can be removed from this if you're going to behave bad. And we've had that incident where we had to remove a few people from the group for bad behavior. That's the only thing you get removed from the group for, bad behavior. And it has nothing to do with trading, just bad behavior with traders. So we are demanding very good respect within the room with each other. So if we find that people are behaving bad, we'll just remove it. It's rare, but we've had to do it, just as a warning. That lifetime access allows you to stay with the group, trade with the group. You get access to our trading room, and our trading room is live. It's like this session, except all traders have the possibility of sharing their charts, showing you what they see in the charts, what is the trade setup, and if you like the trade, you can take it. Now, the difference between our trading group and what you may pay for as a signal service is different. It's not the same. In a signal service, they give you specific trade and say, take this trade. In our group, we discuss trades. Every trader will present a trade if he has a trade to show you, and you decide if you want to take the trade based on the strategy you are trading. Right? There are long-term strategies, short-term strategies. Different traders trade different instruments. There are people in our room who only trade, 1 or 2 pairs, not more than that. That doesn't mean if we see something at the end, we will not talk about it because somebody is trading on the Australian dollar and probably New Zealand dollar. So it's not a signal service room, but it's a room where traders can use to learn to trade, to become professional traders. And we've had that case where people have become so professional traders that they're trading for prop firms, they're trading accounts for other people, they're managing accounts and all of that. So we have those type of people, and you are among them learning, and you keep learning. Now, when you finish the practice session there, you also get practice session with me. The practice session in the group, the classes are done by me. The practice session are held by, we break you up into smaller groups. So if there's 100 people taking the course, we make groups of 10, 15, and one of my top traders are going to do the practice session with you. Then after that, you get to do practice with me. What that means, you get 20 minutes on a daily basis on one of the webinars session that I will do. We call it marathon, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. any given day. I put it out there. You get a chance to come, sign up, take a spot of 20 minutes and show me what you see, how you prepare your charts, and I will correct where you make mistakes. We have continuous Q&A in the room. Every week we do at least one Q&A where traders come with questions they have and I answer it. We continuously do practice sessions and we continuously do classes, which means if I notice that a lot of traders are struggling with one particular thing or they're making one particular mistake, I pick up that and I do a class on it to remind them what and how they should do that. And then we have one-on-one with traders, which are rare, but we do it. When traders are really struggling and if they're losing money, we tell them to call me, call one of my top traders, do a one-on-one, look through all your trades, see where you make mistakes, and do all of it. So if you're going to buy your recording material from somebody for $500, you're not going to get all of this, and you will learn nothing from it. So those people who are trying to scam you out there, don't worry with them. You have to be in the group with us trading on a regular basis before you can really learn to do this. Now, it's not impossible to do, but it's hard to do. It's not easy, right? That is one of the criteria. You have to have at least 1 year experience because it's not basic stuff. What we give you is not basic stuff. One of the other criteria is you have to read the Elliott Wave book. It's called the Elliott Wave Principles, not because we use the book, but we use the patterns that are in that book, right? Most of the patterns that we do are based on patterns in that book. The rules, you don't have to worry with the rules in that book because we're going to give you our rules on how we look at patterns, right? Another criteria that we have is that you have to have a valid account to trade. People always ask me, well, what is a valid account? Well, how much does it have to be? 5,000, 10,000, 100,000? It's simple. The more you have, the better. Because when you have a small account, right, you can use it for practice, but you wouldn't make money out of it. So let's say you have $5,000 account. You're not going to get rich off of that. You're not going to make a lot of money off of that. Let's say you double it in a year. You become a good trader and you double it. That's just $5,000 for the year. That's not a lot of money. What traders tend to do when they have a small account is overtrade because they want to make money very fast right now, right? So they can practice with that and then see what happens when it goes from there, right? So we can see. Okay. Can everybody hear me? Somebody's asking if the webinar is not started. So I'm talking and you're asking if the webinar is not started. No, we haven't started this yet. I'm just giving an introduction. I'm just giving, there's where, traders get it. That's exactly what traders do. They're not listening. And then you want to learn, right? Okay, guys, let's go. So that's it about the course, right? That gives you a very short rundown of what we do, and how you're going to become a trader. So don't worry with people who are selling you anything out of there. Even if they give you it for free, don't take it because you're not going to learn very much of it and you're putting yourself at risk, right? I can tell you, I have traders in my group who are 6 months and they're still struggling. we have traders after 3 weeks, they've grabbed the concept pretty well. So it will all depend on you individually. Let's move on to the webinar now. Let's start, because one trader is getting very impatient. Clear all, let's go. Let me just take this up. It's going to be hell using this thing to work. Euro, let's go to the dollar index. Dollar index, we're still within that sideways move, as you can see. We're still going sideways. We still have this impulse down, and this one is still going up, which means that some possibility that this here will probably come down a little more, right? There's a chance that it might still go up more, but you can look for possible downside here. I don't think this one is going to go up much more here, right? Because you can see that even if they break the top, we're going to get some divergence. We're going to look for downside. So I think this week you may look for a little more up, but it's a big sideways move and might be dangerous for you to trade. It's clear all, let me see good. So if you get a pullback here, I'm on the 4 hour, you can look for one more up and then look for down. It's not going to go up long term. It's not a long-term upside. Let me go to the 1 hour and show you. 1 hour. This one came down. We got an up. You probably might get one more up. If you really look for it, you might get a pullback here. You could get one more up. If they come break the top, look for downside. I don't think this is going up. We're just in a big sideways move. The pen drawing a little bigger. Yes, I think I can do that. Let me see if I can have that option. I don't use this one. That's the problem. The one, you can do it here. I think you can do it like this. That is okay. I think that should work. Let's go. Euro. Euro coming down, the same thing. Euro is in a big sideways move. We've been saying watch Euro. It's in a big sideways move. I think Euro might go down some more. So which means we can expect dollar index to probably go back some more up. If you were trading Euro and you were paying attention, you had a sell set up here. If anybody was trading it, some of my traders got that. There's a good chance that it might come a little more. You might get a pullback. You shouldn't sell it here until you get a pullback, right? And then look for that sell. If Euro starts to go up, and there's a chance that in this sideways move, they can go back one more up. If it starts to go up, you would have to wait for a turn to get it, which means this will go something like this, pull back like that, and then you go. This will be your buy setup. Until and unless you have that, you're not making any buy setup, right? If you're in a short, you can keep the short because there's a chance they're going to go lower. I think this is the correction. We will see probably lower. So keep this short, but in case they're turning, and the reason they can turn is because you're in a big sideways move, right? You're not trending anywhere as yet. All the charts are in sideways move, and that is why you can expect them to turn at any point. Pound went down pretty nicely. Nothing surprising here. We expect the pound to go down. Now we are making a big corrective structure here. Let me show you this. Let me get my drawing tool here. You're in a big sideways move here. Right? This might go down some more. I think we can touch this line, and then we would see whether they're going to give us one up. If you were looking at the daily webinars that I did on Pound, I did a daily webinar on it. Some of you may have been there. Let me show you on the daily what I was looking at. By daily webinar, I mean those daily webinars I do, not on the daily. And remember, we said we are expecting Pound on the long term to go down. So in the long term, Pound should be going down, breaking this structure to the downside, right? That's the long term. On the short term, they can come here and they can go back up for one more, making this a three-wave structure, right? Like we have here, we have a three-wave structure here, so there's a possibility for that to happen. But in the long term, this will still go down, even if they do that. So this move, I'm expecting this move to come down some more before they go. Let me clear the drawing and go back and get this one. What we would look for here is whether this piece here is a flag or whether it's a slow move to the downside like this. If they do that, we'll watch for how this pattern behaves and see whether there's one more up or whether we're going to consolidate here for more downside. Now, this could be the start of the downside. I don't think it is. It could be, but I don't think, because I don't like the way the structure is moving. Sometimes they have that very slow movement and then they start moving very fast. So if you look at it in this time frame in the 1 hour, there's a chance that we're looking at a nice consolidation here. And this makes a flag here, sell it. So you will be looking for a sell setup if you get a flag there. When it hits about the trend line, which means break this low, go a little lower, move it to break even and wait. If they break through this trend line and continue to go, which is possible, you can just move into profit. At some point, if they're going to turn back up, you will get out of the trade. If they just keep consolidating and dropping, you keep selling, right? If you sold from the top, you can keep it. It's a good trade. I don't think it's turning to the upside as yet. I think there's more downside for this week, and then we will see what happens. It's still a consolidation, so still possible for that upside. Aussie did make the deeper correction. Remember, we warned that if you're in a selling, you should have taken that sell, right? If you took the sell, you should have taken it. You still got a lot of profit in the sell to get out for at least the worst case break even, in some case money. But once they make this big move and you start seeing this, remember we were saying last week, once they make this big move, there's a chance they're going to make a deeper correction. And that is looking at the daily, right? This daily has to correct itself. And that is what I think they're doing. We're getting a daily correction. So the daily correction might go something like this. They'll probably come back here, probably go back up, and then you'll start to look for the downside. A three-wave structure somewhere in here for the downside. This sharp wave is never all the correction. So we might see more sideways in here before they go. Go back to the 1 hour. You can look for sell setup. I think we might get some sell setup here. Wait for this to probably make some sideways and look for this trade down, right? This trade might not break the low. It might come here and then start to go back up. We're looking for a three-wave structure somewhere in here before we start the downside, right? A bigger three-wave structure, not the small one. So if you're taking a sell setup here, you will take profit out of the trade. Don't keep the trade, because it's going to go back up. New Zealand also make a very deep correction. New Zealand correction was forecast. We looked at that and we know it's going to go up. We had this three-wave structure in the middle here. And you were supposed to buy the breakout of New Zealand, right? That was the forecast for New Zealand, buy the breakout of this. So we have got 1, 2, 3. There's a good chance you're looking for downside. Now, if this is all the correction, this one is going to go down very much. If they're going to make the bigger corrections, and they do make bigger corrections sometimes. Remember, I showed you we wanted this correction here. That is the one we're looking for here. And I think we've got that correction. So there's a good chance this will start to go down. You can start to look for good sell setups, which means if you get a flag somewhere there, you look for it. They probably will be making a flag on the 1 hour. Let me see. First sell setup. Come on, this drawing tool is a headache. Yeah, so you just gotta wait for this to come down somewhat here. Wait for a flag. Don't sell without the flag, because if you sell without the flag, you'll get a reversal. So the flag will confirm that you're not going back up, and this would be your sell setup. It's going to break this structure very likely. So if this starts to go very sharp, you got a good trade, keep it. If they go like this and they start to stop, consolidating here, which means you start to see bigger consolidation, you get out of the trade, right? Because it's going to spend a long time in consolidation, and they will do this and go back up. If they go sharp, they're going to go very sharp and straight through that structure. So you can start to look for that very early this week. I think you can get a very nice sell in the New Zealand sometime this week. Wait for that flag, 1 hour flag, take the trade. It's going to be a nice trade. Have the patience to wait for that flag, right? Come on. Yen, still in consolidation, but I think it's more upside. We've broken the structure. We've spoken of yen going up after a pullback. So the question will be the same thing like all of them. Is it going to go up now, or is it going to make more consolidation in here and then go? So look for a buy setup, take the buy setup, move your stops, see how far it goes. The worst case is you're going to get a break even. So if you get a 1 hour flag here, and I think you're getting a 1 hour flag there already, let me just make this a little bigger. Wait for a 1 hour flag here and take the trade up. Comes to close to the top, move it to positive, and then see if they make one more down. I think there's a good chance they're going to take off. You might not get the next one down because this is a big correction in relationship to that. So there's a good chance that this one will be going. Look for buy setup. CAD, definitely look for a buy setup. Right? Remember, this was a trade we showed you that we took. Let me go. This was a trade we showed you that we took here, and the break of that. You could close that trade there. They made a deep pullback, and they're still going. So I still think this will make a flag here. Let me get it next right. We'll make a flag here, and we will go break the top. By breaking the top, I mean the daily top. Right? We're in a daily consolidation. I think you can all see that. Take this off. We're in a daily consolidation. Oops, sorry, wrong one. It's confusing me which one now to use. This one, yeah. We're in a daily consolidation, and that one will eventually break out. This will eventually break out. So you can look for that trade. This should be a nice trade. Oh, sorry, I'm using the wrong one. Can't get used to this drawing tool, yes. Look for this trade up there. That's a nice trade coming. Right? I don't think we're going to see lower. We're going to see the break of this here to the upside. You have a 1 hour flag on it. I just showed you the 1 hour flag. Yeah, I'll have to get my drawing tool. This one is a headache. Yeah. You're getting, if you can wait for a 1 hour flag here and then take the trade. Swiss. You do have a breakout in the Swiss, which was a good trade if you took it. Hope you got out of it. Or you got a break-even trade out of it, right? Because this might still see upside. I don't think they're going to break to the downside, but you know, wait for a breakout or something to get a trader. And then 1 hour, this doesn't have a breakout strategy. Wait a second. You'll have to wait for it to break the top to buy. This is not a flag. If they break to the downside, ignore this. It's going to do this and go back up. This would be your buy setup, right? So the downside is not a good, very good trade, but the upside is a very nice trade if you get it. So if you take the downside, we'll go for a break-even trade, right? See? So keep your eyes on it. Let's see where we are. Clear all. I'm not seeing the comments as yet, guys. So if you can hold the comments, because I'm more focused on the one screen that I am right now. So what is silver doing? I think this one a lot of people are interested in. What is silver doing? Nothing has changed in the structure, right? It's pretty much doing what we expected to do. They made a move down a little deeper than we expected, but this is going to go back up. We're looking for that trade, which will be an equivalent of this, right? You've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3, and I think this should be going up. So do we have a trade set up? Let's go look at it. 1 hour. I think on the 1 hour, you're possibly looking for a downside, short-term downside. There's a good chance that this comes here first and then go back up. I'm not looking for a sell setup. Let me just get the right one. I'm not looking for a sell setup in here. I'm looking for the buys. So it's either this one take off or they come back here and then take off. I'm looking for the upside, not the downside. Don't sell silver now. Even if it goes a little down, don't sell it. The upside is going to be pretty sharp. This was a nice trade here. Any one of you guys took that trade? Anybody took that breakout trade there with silver? Okay, well done. Well done. As you guys are listening here, you can see structure already. So, great. Let's go. Let me clear all the drawings and go to Gold also going up. I think gold was easy. We actually called the gold buy in our room. I managed to log in one day for the guys and this gold buy. I think you want to be careful of the buys now because there's a good chance you're going to get some consolidation here. There's a good chance this one will probably make some consolidation here, but I still think they're going to go up. So you'll get an expanding or running flat in here, and then you're going to get more upside. So I don't think gold is going down much more right now. On the bigger picture, let's see what it looks like in a daily. On a daily, you could probably go down more, but short term, if you look at the short term of it, let me just get the drawing again. On the short term, this will probably make some consolidation here and then go one more up before they go down, right? So there's a possibility you can get a consolidation here and then more downside, but right now it's consolidating. So be careful. There's a good chance that I don't think they're going to go back to break the top. I don't see that structure in place, but I see a consolidation here before downside. So the 1 hour chart is telling you may want to wait. This is a daily chart, by the way. So the 1 hour chart is telling you may want to wait for it or wait for the upside some more. You're already consolidating here. See, they're already consolidating here. You could do this and then get one more up and then downside. So you can either take the buy if you get it or wait for the sell, right? This buy is what I think silver will go up with because I can see silver going up more as well. Right? On the Euro Oz, coming down, right? How many of you didn't think it was going to come down? This structure is still telling us it is going to come down, and there's a good chance you're going to break that structure. There's a very good chance it could break out now. So if any one of you got the sell at the top there, you did it well. Finally, it's coming, right? So it always comes. It always comes when you're not expecting it to come. That's the whole point of it. If you get a consolidation here, look for sell setups because now that we have broken this top so far, there's a good chance we're going to break the low. First, we wanted it to break this low, but now I think they're going to probably break this low because of the change in structure that we see. So if you get a sell setup here, don't miss that one because this could be a very big move to the downside. Let me go through it step by step for you guys. 4 hour. 4 hour, if you get a flag here, this was a 4 hour correction. You might not get a 4 hour correction here, but you could get a little 1 hour or bigger correction. If you get that correction, look for a sell setup. The chances of this going up one more, I think it's rare. It could be possible, but I think it's rare. It's coming down pretty sharp right now. In the 1 hour, you're getting a 1 hour correction. Look for sell setups, right? Look for sell setups. I don't see you buying it as yet. We'll probably be interested in buy only if they break this structure. If they break this structure here, then I'll be interested in buy. Once they're under that structure, I think I'm looking for sells. So if this makes some more, if this makes some more consolidation here and then drop, better for me, right? We're looking for sell setups. Euro New Zealand also coming down. This one actually broke out, and this might be the key to telling you that the Euro Oz may go down, because remember the Euro Oz, the Euro New Zealand, we're looking for this trade. Probably remember, right? We're looking for this trade down here. And that is about to happen now. There's a chance this will go up one more. There's a good chance you can get one more before you get a deeper pullback, right? Just a deeper pullback, something like this, and then continue to go. So there's a good chance this could happen, but there's also a good chance they will break it. Now, the chance of breaking is less than the upside. So what you're looking for is anything you get here, there's a correction, look for sell setup, at least to the trend line. You want this one here. Let me use the different drawing tool. You want this trade here. That's the trade we're trading now. So keep your eyes on that. Let me clear everything. And we go down to the 1 hour. So in the 1 hour, you can see that you're getting some nice sell setups, right? It was giving you sell setups all the time. I think you had a ton of sell setups here. I didn't have to tell you how to trade this. And I think all of you could have sold that one. That was a trade call we made. This might have been your one. If you sold that one, is also okay. If you sold that, is okay. If you sell this, was okay. And if you sell this, would be okay. Right? When this break, move it to the profit, because as you can see here, there's a good chance they will start to make a deeper one before they go. So that last piece, if you're not in the trade, you may want to consider whether you want to take it, right? If you don't take this one, good, right? Wait for the bigger one and then sell. Right? It's pretty easy. This one was crystal clear. We will be calling sell setups on these trades, right? On all the euro pairs. So let me just go back to here. Euro Chief. Also downside wasn't the best one, but it did go down some. And I think stay out of this now. For this week, stay out of it, because there's no clue what it's doing right now. See this whole big correction here? That could be one hell of a big correction, and that means we will get one more up. Now, if this is the top, we're going down. Right? We don't know that. It's not confirmed, and it's not going down aggressively enough to confirm that. So what is the best strategy here? Stay out of this. Give it some chance, and when it starts to move in one direction, we'll get back into it and trade it. Let me see on the daily what it looks like. On the daily, I'm definitely looking for a sell. I think all of you know these patterns by now. So when we get patterns like that on the daily, we're looking for a big sell setup. Actually, we're looking for this thing to come down really big, at least to this level, maybe even lower. If we're making that pattern, if you're going lower, they're coming to test this low. So there's a good chance we get a big trade to the downside. It's not clear that it's going to happen right now because of this movement, because of this piece here that you're seeing, that sideways there. It's not clear that they don't do that first and then come down. See? So because of that, if you don't have the experience and you're not able to manage that and see patterns clearly, stay out of it. When it breaks and it pull back, we will all sell it. But for now, you stay out of it. If you're more experienced, well, you know what to do. You don't need me to tell you. You know how you can get that trade before it actually breaks out. Let's go to the euro yen. Euro yen is another one that is kind of, we were anticipating this move back to the downside. This one here, remember we wanted that move there, and we were expecting it to do it. So this big sideways move now is doing exactly what we wanted to, but that is changing the structure, right? Because if they go back one more and break the top, they're going to come down about here and then take off. We might not get a deep pullback like that, but we might get a longer term sideways before they go, which means you might get more of a sideways move rather than a pullback. Let's see what it looks like on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we didn't get that expanding triangle we were looking for. It's not an expanding triangle because we were expecting them to come up and break this top to make an expanding triangle, if you remember that one. Oh, come on. We're saying we want them to come back to this top. Well, they didn't break that top, and not breaking that top doesn't mean it doesn't make it. If this one had broken the top, then we would get an expanded triangle. The top was not broken. So that means either two things. This is coming down here now for a longer term trade to the downside, and we would look at this as the correction for a downside. And I think the downside is possible. Why you're growing so strange? Not sure. Are you going to say going strange or growing strange? Drawing strange. Okay, good. It's because of the drawing tool I'm using, Julia. I did not manage to download my Zoom It because we had to totally reset the computer after Friday. There was an update and everything just went crazy. So the guy he actually finished it about 15, 20 minutes before the webinar. I managed to do two things only: download the charts and download the Zoom. So I'm using the annotation. That is why. I'll get next week, tomorrow, you guys are going to get everything good, right? So watch this. It did not make the expanding triangle. So that means if you get a sell set up here, go for this, right? If it's not a triangle, then there's a very high probability this one will go lower. So let me show you that in a 1 hour. And it's taking me longer to do the webinar also because I don't have my regular drawing tool. Every time I want to change from drawing mode to normal mode, I have to click on that mouse and it doesn't click immediately. So if you get a nice selling, this was a nice selling one. I think we were looking at that in our trading room. If you're looking at, there was a nice selling here and you may be getting a nice selling here. Look for that opportunity. And if you get it, take it, right? If you get that opportunity, take it. It's actually a good sell. When they break the low, move your stops. I don't think they're going to turn to the upside. We were looking at a possibility of this breaking to the upside, but I don't think they're going to do that. It should not make such big consolidation before breaking the top, because they already made the consolidation in there, which means this should have broken the top. And if that didn't break the top, that's not the pattern we're getting. We're getting another pattern, which means look for sell setups. Let's go. EuroCAD. EuroCAD might be giving us some sell setups as well. We broke this structure. I think you can see that very clearly. We broke that structure and they're making something here. So if they come back here and they make a few more consolidation there, they break, take the trade. Take that trade to the downside. Once they break out of here, take the trade to the downside. I think it's a good possibility we're going to get one more of this at least to the downside, and then we'll see from here what happens. For now, trade it one trade at a time. Take profit out of the trade and then wait for the next trade. Wait for the next setup. Europon, I think this is the most interesting one. So let's look at it in the daily. If you were following what I was saying last week, is that they do have that potential to come back. Oh, sorry. To come back all the way to the top here, right? They do have that potential to make a 1, 2, 3, and then start that big fall. The fall should break this low. I'm still in the sell. And I'm still keeping it. I'm not getting out of it. So let's look at it in the 4 hour now. We're going to go one step down, 4 hour. We were looking at this last week and we were saying, well, this breaks out here. This breaks out here. Look for a sell setup. Look for this to go up. It did break out, but it's not going as yet. So if you're in the trade, keep your stop here or move your stop to this level and wait and see, right? Only if they break this structure and consolidate here would we make that move. You know, would we sell here for a longer term trade? As far as I can see, that pullback doesn't mean anything. They may still continue to go and we can see them touch the stop before they go, right? It's pretty much like you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 for a B wave. So I'm thinking of all of this as a B wave, making this here your A and your C wave. And then we can look for this trade to the downside, right? That possibility exists. Why go inside the structure again? Why would it go back up here again? Well, the why is a very interesting one. To be exactly knowing why they're doing it, I don't know, but I can tell you a logical reason why they're doing it, right? So it's very logical, and if you listen, you'll understand it's very simple. Think of it if you were the guy who has to, if you're the big banker who is going to move, I don't know, pound to one or euro to one direction or the other, you have to make sure the direction you're going to move any one of those currency has to make you profit. Which means if you're not getting profit on that move, you're not interested in getting into that move, right? You're not interested in pushing it if it's not going to make you profit. So it means when they're looking at their books and they're looking at volumes of trades that they have or balance that they have, they're not interested. If they're looking at economic situations, it's not going to make them a profit to move it. Maybe they'll be playing against other players and they don't want that to happen. So they're not moving it. Eventually they'll move it. Eventually it's not up to them. They will move it, right? It happens all the time. This thing that is happening here is already telling me that they're planning for a downside. I have a 90% chance of being correct on that. Right? I have a 90. We can actually, here's what you can do. You guys can take this one chart. Let's say take this single chart as a learning, as a very good one. We have been doing it from the very top here. We've been doing this chart not only from the top. So let me see if I can go back to the daily and show you. We've been following this chart for the longest while. In this room, step by step, we've been following these moves. Remember when it was here and everybody thought that, oh, well, let me get a different color. Come on. Yeah. When it was here and everybody thought, well, we're going to go down because we broke out here and we said, no, look for that move up. We didn't thought it was going to break the top. I thought they'll turn from here and go down. They broke the top. Everybody was going crazy. I said, no, they have to go back down, right? Remember that? So we sold it from the top there and we're in this trade here. We saw this move up, we saw that move down, we saw this move up, we saw this move down. Very likely I'm seeing one more up. Well, I could be wrong about it, but as of now, it looks very much like that. I'm telling you, this move has a 90% chance of happening. So all of you will still be with me here, right? I think within the next year, the whole of 2018, I'm hoping to still see all of you as traders. I hope you don't lose your account. Trade with, with care so that I'm still seeing you here. And you will bring some more friends and you can tell them, hey, I have a snapshot of this that he says is going to happen. Let me see if it's going to happen. Now, if you're following my daily webinars, I have shown you every single day one of those pairs that we made those forecasts and they worked. They all worked in the long term, right? We showed you them. Go back and look at all the daily webinars I did. It's the same thing. If you lose your account, you'll still be here. No, I don't want you to lose your account. I know you'll probably still be here, but I don't want you to lose your account, right? You don't have to. That's the whole thing. If you trade with care, you don't have to do that. So this is the point. We've seen these patterns. We know how they behave. And the reason they behave so that way is because of how the market itself is behaving, right? So let's see. We'll see. We forecast this one up. We can forecast this one down. Let's see what it works, right? As far as we're concerned, more than 90% of them are perfect. They work very good. So let's see. Maybe I don't think this one is the one that is going to work. I think I have a 95% chance that this one is going to go because I'm in the trade. So remember what we said about all the pound pairs? They're all looking downside. Well, you should be careful because they're all looking downside. If this breaks, come on, don't do that. If this breaks, look for that trade. Some of you are already in that trade. I'm pretty sure about that. Some of you are already in this sell, especially this chart. I've been telling you about this chart. Keep your eyes, watch for this chart. It's going to go lower. I think we did a daily webinar on this one. Specifically, the daily webinars are only on single charts. We showed you this chart of the forecast we made on this chart. I think it's somewhere in here. Where is the forecast? It's somewhere in here. We made a forecast. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe in another chart I can see it. For the downside, right? That this move is going to, it's on the weekly, sorry. I have to go on the weekly to get it. You go on the weekly, you can see that forecast. Talking about forecasts, where they're going to go. This is it, right? We look at structures and we say, where do you think this structure is going to go? You see those two arrows? Where do you think it's going to go? You think it's going to get to the bottom here? Well, not exactly that price, but you think it's going to go? I think it's going. So right now what you have is a consolidation. And this is coming here. And that has a 99% chance of happening. Not just a 90 or 95. That's almost a 99. This one happened, right? See that one happened? Why, who says this is not going to happen? This is the chart it's based on. See that structure there? See the structure here? See this structure? See that structure? That is why we think they will do this and then they'll start that move up. So most of you are thinking, well, why the hell worried about that? Let's worry about this one here, right? Let me take a different drive. Let's worry about getting this one here. Well, like I said, I would like to see all of you here next year. Because if all of you are with me next year, we're going to get that one up too. We're going to get the one down and then we're going to get the one up. So if you don't lose your account, you'll probably triple it or make 5 times by that time. This one is going very nice. It just started and it's already going very nice. So let's look at it. Let's go and look at that in details. Let me just close this. How do I close this now? Just click here. It should go away. Yes. So we're in this big sideways move here now, guys. This is a perfect setup for a sell. You're selling from the top. So let me just draw the line here again. You're selling from the top. You have a move up. You have a correction down. You have a move up. You want this move down. Let's go look at it now. 4 hour. I think this is pretty clear to everybody. It's not that difficult. We want them to break this structure here now to confirm that move. Sorry, this structure. because you've got to move up, you've got a correction, you've got to move up, you get a correction. When it breaks this structure, that move start. If you're in the sell, watch it when it comes to this level. Let me change the color so you can see. I'll put blue and I'll put this drawing. When it comes to this area here, this sell, be careful. Because from here, there's a possibility of one more up and then down. I don't think that one more up will happen. I don't think they're going to make that one more up, but it's possible. Right? Read what text for you, Gaurav. If you're saying correct words, good for you. If you know what it's doing, then great. Why should I read your words? I don't know what you wrote, so let me see what you wrote. So you're so proud of it. Let me see. It is surely up because not testing area to poke new area. That's nonsense. That's why I didn't read it. I just didn't want to tell you you're writing nonsense. There's nothing about poking new area and testing new area. Now that you asked for it, you got it. I ignored it because I didn't want to tell you that in front of everybody, but you asked for it, right? It's pure nonsense. It has nothing to do with poking new area and testing new area. So next time, don't be so arrogant in my room. Right? I tried not to embarrass you, but you asked for it, right? No, he's not new. I know who he is. He sends me a message almost every day. I don't answer his messages. He knows that. So let's go. Let's go. Sorry. Yeah. So watch this. You're already in this trade. You're getting a flag here. Sell some more. If I ignore something anybody write, just let me ignore it. I have a reason why I ignore it. Don't be too arrogant with me. Remember, I have the mic, you don't. So you don't want to take the risk of being arrogant. Let's go. Watch for this. You're getting a flag here. You're getting a nice flag here. Take the sell because we've already broke that. Now, in rare cases, if this flag go back up, if they go back up to this level, pull this line and sell the breakout here. Because this would just be a three-wave structure. It's still a sell setup, right? But wait for the setup. Don't try to get in too early, right? Let's go. Watch this. You're looking at the Pound Chief. Let's go to the Pound Oz. And we have the same structure in all the Pound trades. Daily. Same structure, right? We showed you all the structure. What I will do this week is I will probably repeat all the Pound trades, right? I'll repeat all the Pound trades this week. So you will know what they do, right? We're breaking. I hope many of you are already in this trade. Anybody in this trade, by the way? Because we've been talking about all the Pound trades. Watch for it to break the top and turn. Anybody took the trade? Great. Some of you did, some of you missed it. Let's go. 4 hour. Good one. What you're going to wait for now is wait for a sideways move here. Wait for that sideways. Don't jump in at the bottom here. Wait for this pullback. That will confirm the next side down. What are the possibility of this being a correction and it goes back? If they test that top, they're going to fall, right? If they go back, test the top, we're going to have a bigger structure in play. And that one will definitely fall. I don't think we're getting that bigger structure in play. I could see this correcting here and going down. So don't miss this trade because if this takes off, remember we've already made the daily correction. This is what you guys have to look for. This thing has been correcting on the daily for a long while. This thing has been correcting upside on this daily for a very long while. They've completed the structure, broke the top. It's about time it's going to go and they may move very fast, right? So you have to be very, very quick in getting what you're doing here. Let's go. Okay, guys, knock off the conversation. Right? We don't have time for that. Don't distract other people from the group. If you know your strategy is so good, why are you here, Gaurav? That's my question. If you're doing so great, this webinar is to help people who are not doing so great. So knock it off because if you don't, I'll remove you from the group. I don't have patience for that. Let's move on. By the way, sorry, let's get this. Watch for a correction here too, right? This is one. Watch for the correction and then sell. Don't sell without the correction, especially in the 1 hour. Because, you know, you can fall, they can reverse it. Same you should have in the pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, same structure. We've been talking about this structure for a while. You're going up, you broke out. You broke out of the trend line, right? You can see this. Let me get a trend line for you there. You broke out, look for sell setups. Look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this one. And there's likely chance you're going to break out, right? So let's go. Clear all of this. Go back to the 1 hour. Some of you may be in this trade because there were good sell setups. For the last 2 weeks, I haven't been very active because of that. But you know, if you were trading and if you were following what we were saying, you would have seen good sell setups. They may be giving you a short-term one here. Take it, put it to break even. If they start to make a deeper correction, look for the bigger sell. There's a possibility you get that deeper correction. Now, I don't think all of these will make one more up. I don't see that possibility as yes, right? So wait for it and just, you know, take the trades. Let's go. Next one, Pound Yen, sorry, similar structure. Let's go. Let me just get off this. Pound Yen, similar structure. We're coming down, put it on the daily so you can see the structure again. Yep. So we're still expecting this to come down some more. Expecting this to come down here. And when it gets to this level, we'll see. I still think they may break this low, right? We still have these arrows here as they were from initially. We're not removing them because they either have to come to this level and go back up or come to this level and go back up. So we will leave those 2 arrows so that we can see how it's progressing, right? So that we can see, because that is an arrow we leave there for you guys to watch. Is it going to be running flat or contracting or expanding flat? So let's see which one. This is still not the impulse to the upside. I'm not looking at this as an impulse to the upside. I still think we're in a B wave correction and we're coming down for a C wave. So let's see where it goes, right? Watch this trade. Let me go to the 1 hour for any trade setup on it. Let's go to the 1 hour. There were some trade setups. I don't know who traded. There was a nice trade setup here. This was a perfect one. You could have got the perfect one here if you didn't trade that. This was a sharp move, so you should trade this breakout. And this one is not ready because this one might make a sharper move up before they come down. You see, this one is a sharp move there. They'll pull back and go up and then come down. So you can start to look for some more sell setups when it goes up. It's probably going to consolidate some more, then go, right? So keep your eyes on this. Let's see. Next one, Pound CAD. Daily. Let me remove this so you guys can see. Same here. Pound CAD, the only one I think that has the possibility to go up some more. If you look at this structure, this one has the possibility to go up some more, right? They can still make one more spike here, probably pull back, make one more spike here, break the top, and then go down. So this is the only pound pair that has that possibility to go up. I think if you remember from the very start, we were saying, watch the Pound CAD. It's the only one that has that possibility. And yes, it could be because of the dollar CAD. Dollar CAD goes up, you might get this trade, and then you might get the downside, right? So it is possible that the movement to the upside here will not be a pound movement, but a CAD movement. Let's go now to the 4 hour and look for that trade. It might be a good buy, by the way, since 4 hour. See, there's a good chance that this one is going to go up here, right? And maybe even test the top. So you can look for that short-term up. Sorry, I was going to draw another one. You can look for that short-term trade up. and then look for the downside. Once they break the top, you move, you take profit because you're going to look for downside. And this is the only one has the potential for upside. All the rest of them are showing us downside. If the rest of them go up, it will be correction. This one is going up with an impulse, and that's the difference, right? This new drawing tool is getting me crazy. I'll download my drawing tool again. Aussie, New Zealand. Aussie, New Zealand, probably we wouldn't get much trade out of this anyway, and I think you stay out of it. They're not confirming any direction, is it? Just stay out of this one. It's not worth the while trading it, because even when you get a trade, it's not going very well, right? It's kind of in this channel, but I think they'll break out most likely to the downside, right? They'll consolidate here and break that channel to the downside. So best thing, stay out of this. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is getting a reversal. This is more like a big reversal. Let me just get this and come on. See, we're at that point where they're going to break out. So they'll probably make some more sideways here. And then we're going to look for that move up. Let's go and look at it in a 1 hour. So you can get one more downside here. You can get one more downside. And then you start to look for the upside. Right. This might be a nice sell. Short term. Once it breaks this low, move your stops, take profit, because we don't know from where they're going to turn, but they're going to go back up. So you want to keep your eyes, and this one has a CAD inside too. So you want to keep your eyes on this one. Right, there's more upside in that. Let's go. We're in the Aussie yen. I think we may have to skip some of them pretty fast so that we don't, the webinar will be too long. We're already 1 hour. So let's go Aussie yen. Stay out of this a while. Yep. Look for sell setups. I would look for sell setups here. Wait for this consolidation to break out and look for sell setups back to this level. Right? Look for sell setups in this. It might be a yen movement, not so much an Aussie movement, but keep your eyes on it. Let's see what it's doing. I don't have a lot of these charts prepared because I wasn't around for like 2 weeks. Not very actively trading for the last 2 weeks because of the change in residence and all of that right now. Likely you're going to get some more downside in the Aussie Swiss too. There'll be a pullback here. So if they consolidate in here, you can take the trade. If not, just stay out of it. And the 1 hour, do we have a flag here for a sell? You had a flag for a sell set up here in the 1 hour. There was a nice one here for a sell. If you get another flag, sell it. Take every trade short term, right? Take every trade short term and take profit. Don't go long term on these. None of the Aussie trades. Don't go long term on them. New Zealand yen. Let's see what this is doing. Stay out of this. CAD yen. CAD yen, you could actually start looking for trades. Let's see what the dailies say. Nothing, not very clear. Let's go into 4 hour. Not very clear. Let's go into 1 hour. You see the 4 hour is going down, right? But it's not clear that it's going to keep going down. Let me just pull this trend line so you can see. It's not very clear that it will continue to go down. I would wait for this to make another flag here and then sell it. Make another flag and sell it and take profit every time. Because if they break this, you're going to get a trade to the upside, but it's not going to be long term. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3 structure and then down. So the buy might not be very good for a long term. It's more long term downside. CAD yen, let's see what else we have. A CAD Swiss. Stay out of this one. New Zealand CAD. I'm going to go through the ones that are not worth trading and stay out of this one. This one still has some more upside. Let me just show you this one, put it now. I'll take out all of this because those we were showing you for the breakout, right? The breakout that you're getting. We're in a big sideways now. See this? This whole thing is in a big sideways move. One here, one there. So they'll probably go up a little more and then start the downside. So best thing to do is not to trade it. New Zealand Chief. Swiss is also going up, so we could probably get more upside. Let me see in the daily. Yeah, you're going to get more upside. They're coming to retest this stop. I think we did this. We did this one on a daily, so you can take a look at it. We got this move down. We got that move down. We're getting this move down. We're getting one more move up. Wait for a pullback, and then start trading it. You see, they all pull back when they went, right? So let me clear it. This one pull back here before it goes, right? This one pulled back a little in here, but a bigger pullback was here. This one made at least 2 pullback before they go. So look for a small pullback somewhere here and then start to trade that up to the top, right? That is an easy one. You just got to wait for the pullback, wait for that. I'm on the daily, so let's go look for that pullback in the 4 hour and the 1 hour, right? So let's see the 4 hours. 4 hours, nothing. You're just getting a straight line, but you can get a 1 hour pullback here. Yep, you might be starting to get a 1 hour one. It's looking like it's falling. Don't worry with that. It's not falling as yet. This is going to come sharp. They'll probably do this. They'll come back here, and then you take this straight to the upside. If you want to take short-term sells, wait for a 1 hour flag and sell it, take profit, right? You're taking a sell within a move that is now starting to go. So they will stop something like this. See that 1, 2, 3 there? All right, we're getting a 1. You can take a sell if you get a flag. If they make a flag, they'll drop 1 more, go back up, make a flag, go 1 more, make a flag, come back 1 more. And then you can look for that buy setup, right? You'll get the buy setup above the top here. So you get a buy setup somewhere here, or if you're lucky, you get a buy setup at the bottom, depending on how the structure goes. Let's go. What else? Copper. Copper, I think it's kind of taking off. Let's see where we are in the copper. Okay, they're not breaking out as yet, but wait, if they break out, you can start to look for buy setups. Let me just still take out this. Yeah, if this starts breaking out here, you probably get 1 more impulse to the upside. Okay, did I close the trade? Oh, no. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I accidentally closed that one. I hope the recording is still. Are we still live on streaming live on YouTube? Can somebody give me yes, please? Let me see. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, I just accidentally closed it, clicking the wrong thing. So let's go. Let me get back to annotation. I was going to click something in the annotation tool and I clicked the wrong one. Yeah. So this one could go up some more, at least 1 more up, right? So you can start looking for that trade up. Right, that might make some sense. Close the drawing. Let me get back this one. And let's go. Oil. Oil is going to go up at least 1 more. They're consolidating right now. We're looking for a bigger consolidation, which means we're going to get a consolidation that would be, might break this structure here and come a little into this structure before it goes back up. Right, you're getting that consolidation. So let's go clear the drawing, let's go to the 1 hour, 4 hour. If it breaks out, buy. We wanted it to make 3 waves down, and it made 3 waves down. It made 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It made 1 more, so this doesn't have to break the low. This one could start to go up now. So if you get a buy setup here, it's a good trade. Let's look at it in the 1 hour. Look at this setup here. Watch for the upside. And if it breaks this structure, you definitely want to keep it, right? You definitely want to move your stop and keep it, not take it off, right? Let's go. US oil, UK oil, same structure, watch for it. They're making a flag. You can go retest the top. This one might not break the top because this one broke the top already. So this up move might be short-lived, which means if you take the US oil, you watch for the same thing. A short-lived, they don't break out and they come back down, right? Long-term oil upside. Long-term, there's an impulse to come. It's in a consolidation, but the consolidation could go up and down, right? This consolidation could come here and come back down. And so is the US oil. It could go to the top of that trend and come back down and then start to break out. But the longer term is upside, right? How high? One more impulse and then we'll see. You never know exactly how high that impulse could go. You just have to be in the trade and move your stops, right? So that could be it. What are you guys going on with in here? Just knock off all the chat until keep the chat to the end, right? Let's go. Natural gas. Natural gas start looking for buy setups. It came down as we expected, came down a little deeper than we expected, but watch for the buy setups now. They made one, they made two, they made three. Watch for this one here now. Anytime you start to see a buy setup here, go for this trade. Sorry, I wanted to get this one. Go for this trade, right? If they break this low, remember silver and gold did have a similar pattern and they break the low, they're still going up, right? So watch for this one. This is a good one. Ripple, how many of you bought it? That's the question. When I was saying buy at 15, not a lot of people were listening, right? How many of you bought it at 15? That's the point. One person, two people? Well, some of you were listening, right? That's the whole thing. That is the one where you should invest your money in. S&P 500, we'll come to it. Let me just go through pretty fast. This S&P 500 is still upside, right? It's pretty moving. It's moving pretty fast, but all the trades to the buy should be short term, right? I think I made it very clear. All trades to the upside has to be short term because, you know, same thing with the DAX. DAX is actually consolidating here. I don't think this is starting to look like a downside. No, they'll probably go up. They broke this structure. Let me show you this one. They broke this three-wave structure there. See? 1, 2, 3. This one will go up some more, retest the top. Look for that. There's a possibility of them retesting the top. You can get a short-term buy. Take all buys as short-term. Nifty, I think also going up. Let me see. I can't remember. I didn't watch the Nifty for a long time. Man, this new drawing tool is really getting on my nerves now. I can't get to click that arrow. Yep, short-term upside. If you get the buy, it's short-term. With the breakout of this consolidation, they'll make a very small high and then they'll start to reverse again. It's starting to show signs of weakness, which means these structures, these corrections are getting bigger and the impulse are getting shorter. That's a good sign they're about to turn, right? Let's see. So we're going to skip all of the rest, do some Bitcoin for you guys. Let's see, starting with this one, the one that you're all supposed to be buying into. Perfect, right? Remember 15. 15 was your buying price. If any one of you were listening and buying at 15, 16, 17, 18, there was a buy setup here because we remember, I think I showed this one that maybe to you or maybe to my group, that the triangle is in the middle here. I can't remember which group I showed this stuff, right? And then you look for that. Well, it was expected that they were going to go up. Once they start making that correction, that was expected. That wasn't, you know, new in it. You got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, in the middle here. And that was your trade, right? Oh, I showed in our group, Yulia. Okay, thank you. Sorry, but I thought it showed it everywhere. We saw the change in this triangle in our group. So let me show you. This had a similar pattern like what happened with the copper. Some of you remember that, right? It started looking as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for one more downside and then the up, right? That was what we were thinking. But then we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with this in here. So we said, guys, this is actually going to go up because this becomes the triangle. We showed that in our group and you were expecting that to go up. Now, I thought they'll probably stop somewhere here, right? As this one is short, they'll probably stop. Well, if you're in the trade, you did well. That's the whole point, right? Yeah, same as the copper one that we had. Remember, copper also started that, and then the triangle goes with the triangle in the P wave. And that's how patterns behave, but you should be able to recognize it before it changes. And that's what we do. So, well done, those of you who took the trade. Let's go. What else you guys looked at? Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin doing? Already, it's going to hit the 20,000 very soon, and then you'll have to start taking profits. You definitely want to start taking profits when once it hit the 20,000, because at that point, I think some people will take profit, right? And I don't think you want to buy in Bitcoin at 20,000. You got to be crazy to buy it at 20. Wait for it to pull back, and they will pull back. And when they pull back, then you buy it. Right? This one is correcting. That could go more. Wait for the correction and then go. This one, I was really thinking it didn't break, but it didn't go like they broke this structure here, but it didn't break the low very far. See, they made this 1, 2, 3. It's kind of this contracting flat, and this one would kill you. 1, 2, 3. We're looking for 1, 2, 3 to break this low, and they never broke the low. They just broke out slightly. That's called a contract. We call it the contracting flat, which is you're looking for a regular flat, but instead of getting a regular flat, you got a contracting flat. You still get the same flat pattern, except now it's contracting. It's no longer going to break the low, and that changes the structure. So the buy would have come from here if you were looking to buy that. I wasn't looking at these for a whole 2 weeks. I wasn't in the chart, right? So I think that's about it. Let me stop the recordings. I don't think I could take some questions, but I don't want the YouTube video to be too long with a lot of questions. Let's see. You guys have any questions? I really appreciate still doing this weekly outlook. I can actually understand what you must be going through. Yeah, the drawing tool is a headache for me, but we'll solve that. That's okay. They're minor problems. When you're starting daily webinar, I will try tomorrow to start. So look out for the links and keep help sharing them. Could we get a video tour of your Dubai penthouse? Actually, I was telling my friend, one of my student who is a good friend of mine here. He's a banker. He was here at my apartment today, and my apartment is looking out at a yacht club, right? So I was telling him which one you want. Let's go take a photograph and show everybody this is ours, right? It's amazing. It's looking out in the view. If any one of you know from Dubai, it's the marina area. It's the marina, and we're looking out into the marina, exactly where all those yachts are. I think we can rent one day. If those of you are in Dubai, just join us. Let's rent one and go on a drinking spree or something. I don't drink though, but we'll find out what to do. Euro-Oz monthly charts as head and shoulders could be. I don't look at it mostly as that, but we are expecting a downside, and yes, might make a head and shoulder pattern. If we register for course, I have to pay in one shot. It's better if you can do it in one, because my thing about it is if you're registering for the course, I'm making an assumption you have enough money to trade. Because if you don't, I tell people don't take the course, right? And that means you can afford to pay one payment. If you can't afford to pay one, yeah. If for all the reasons you don't want to, you have to make it in 2 or 3 payments, that's okay with me. But you have to do them like within the week. If it's not that you don't have the capital, but for different reasons, traders do that because in their country you can't send out more than $1,000 or something like that per time. So they send it in 2 or 3 payments, and that's okay. That's a different story. This is a temporary place. It's not a new place. I'm just here temporarily. I still have to go back to Moscow. Somebody serves contracting flat and irregular type 2 corrections. Same. No, irregular type 2. If you're looking at that, I think you're talking about the running flats. Contracting flats is a regular. It's in the Elliott wave book. They keep it as regular flats. They don't differentiate between the 2 types of regular flats. They just call both of them regular flats. Can we pay in finance? Not sure what you mean by that, but you can make a bank transfer if that's what you're asking. Best chart for the week. I think I had one out just now if I can remember it. I'll do it tomorrow for you. Is it true to consider trend as a 3 or 5 wave structure? Trend could have more than 3 or 5 waves, right? But yeah, once you got more than 3 waves, you're already trending, right? That's the whole point. But it could be 9 waves, 7 waves. It could be a lot of waves, actually. Look at Bitcoin. How many waves you have in that? You have quite a lot of waves in it. For the course, look at this webinar at the very start. I explain everything about the course. How is New Life better than Moscow? I like the weather here more than Moscow, that's for sure. Everything else I don't know as yet. I just came, so I can't make assumptions. I can tell you that the people are very friendly. The atmosphere is nice. The service is great. So far, I haven't had any, except for the agency for the house. Those were a headache, but everything else is great. How much you pay in tax from profit deriving from in Dubai? There's zero tax on that. In a triangle again into Moscow. In Moscow, I pay tax in Moscow on a single payment tax. Not depends on how much I earn. You pay a fixed tax, so it doesn't matter how much you earn. It's a different taxing system. Can you explain market psychology in terms of Forex trading? Yes, we can do that, but that's a whole webinar. We can't do that in 2 minutes. That will take a whole long webinar to explain to you what the market is doing, why the market moves like that, how the market. When you take the course, that's the first class we actually do, understanding what Forex trading is and how it actually happens, why these structures behave this way, and how we understand them, right? Like what really is happening in the market. It's not that the market is making a triangle or making a flat or making that. These are patterns that are derived from what is happening in the market. So the patterns are created because of the function of the market, because of what all the players in the markets are doing, including manipulation, including everything. Not just news events, but everything as a whole that is going on, right? All of that will make people behave a certain way. And that is what certain way, when you plot it on the chart, you see a pattern. Like take your life, for example. I can put it very simple so you guys can take your life, for example. And if you start plotting, put the 24-hour charts and put it in the 1 hour or 15 minutes or so. And just plot what you do at every time of that day. Like where you are every 15 minutes. Plot on the chart where you are, right? Take a map and plot it. And then you look at it after about a month. You will start to see some very, very nice patterns, which means you know what you're going to do. You give that to somebody and they'll tell you what you'll be doing next Thursday, 3 p.m. Because they just have to look at the chart of what you've been doing for the last month, and you're going to make a very high probability guess what you're doing because you behave a certain way every day, right? There are rare times when you go off of a tangent, but most of the time you're doing the same thing daily. You wake up, you have your breakfast, you go to work, you do the same thing. I do my webinars every week, and then I do my daily webinars, and then I do my London webinars for my traders, and then we go and trade, and then we get in at the specific time when the news events are to look at the charts. We repeat the same things daily. That doesn't change. Rarely that changes. And when it changes, it's a change in structure, so don't worry. Sir, can you do a webinar tomorrow? I think the same thing. Should I wait for the breakouts of the low of a flag before selling? No, you don't have to wait for the breakout of the low. You wait for the breakout of the flag. You should have a strategy how you trade that, though. I should not be telling you what to wait for. You have to test it and have your own strategy how to trade breakout trade. Would you please arrange for a webinar about good opportunities in 2018? We can do that, a yearly one, but I don't think it will not be beneficial for you guys because most of you don't trade long term. That's the fact, right? So I can show you what I think the charts are going to do 2018 and that, but I don't think it's very beneficial for you. Usually you said when it broke top or bottom, it goes, that means the pattern is over. Not necessarily, and that is not true. That's the thing. Don't quote me if I said, when I tell you that I'm waiting for this pattern, specific pattern to break the top and turn, it means only that pattern. That doesn't mean every time they break top and bottom, they turn. I'm telling you about specific patterns that are going to end when they break a top or bottom. I'm not telling you about all the patterns that exist. So don't get me wrong. I think a lot of traders are getting this wrong, and you can lose your money if you try to do that. You have to know what pattern you're looking at and how that pattern specifically behaves, right? Market mix and wave pattern. We can do that, sir. So there's a lot of webinars you guys want me to do that are special webinars. Here's what we're going to do. During the 15 minutes webinar you're doing, I'll take time to do one of them. So it's going to be 15 minutes webinar for the daily charts and 20 minutes for an extra webinar for you. At least one of them I'll do every week, right? So I think that should help. I will be doing it during the weekdays. You don't have to be afraid of the chart. If you're afraid of the chart, don't. I think I've shown you guys a number of times, right? How to trade not being afraid of the charts. I think I've done that a number of times. I've shown you guys, right? How you can just take a trade and don't worry with it. Don't do anything. Like what you should have done with Ripple. Just buy at 15 and go sleep. If you had followed me and you bought at 15 and just forget about the chart and go to sleep and don't worry because it's not going to go to zero, you would have made a ton of money right now. See? So sometimes you have to understand the chart and don't be afraid. It's not like somebody's out there trying to get you. It's only people who are scamming you out there wants you to believe that trader, that the market is going to get you, or that's out, like I saw a guy today on Facebook. I opened my Facebook, pop out with me an advertisement on Forex, and I was, okay, let me just listen to what he's saying. And he's saying 7 different reasons why traders lose. Crap. Just bull crap. There's no specific 7 or 5 or 4 or 2 or 1 or 3 reasons why traders lose. Traders lose because they don't understand what the market is doing. That's the basic thing why we lose. Not having enough knowledge to understand what the market is doing and believe that you can trade out of ignorance. So the guy who is telling you about the 7 reasons, he's trading out of ignorance because he feels that you can find 7 reasons, specific reasons. Every one of you here lose for different reasons. Some of you overtrade, some of you were trading in the wrong direction, some of you trading where you should, selling where you should buy, some of you buying where you should sell. Every one of you, some of you close your trades because you're too afraid of it when it pull back against you. So every one of you are losing for different reasons. There are no 7 specific reasons why you lose. And anybody who tells you that he's making a hype so that you could buy his $500 course or something like that. He has no intentions of teaching you to trade because he doesn't know to do that himself. That's just a fact. When people are doing things like that, they're hyping you, right? I can make you a successful trader. Nobody can make you a successful trader. Take that from me. Nobody, not me, not anybody in the world can make you a successful trader. You can make yourself a successful trader. We can give you the knowledge of how to become successful. Whether you're going to use that knowledge or not, it's not up to me. I cannot download the knowledge to your brain and say, okay, start using it. It's up to you to be a successful trader. We can guide you. We can give you the knowledge. We can train you. Will you be successful? It's only up to you. So anybody who promised you any other thing just wants your money because he has no other intention of making you successful but to take your money. Just remember that. That is the main thing you need to remember leaving today's webinar. No one but you yourself can become successful. It's only up to you, not to me, not to any other buddy who's going to trade you. We will give you the knowledge and we will train you. We will be after you, like I'm after my students, to learn this stuff correctly. We'll correct them, we'll train them, we'll keep doing it. Now, most of them will be successful. I hope all of them will be successful, but that's too optimistic. Most of them will be. But nobody else can make you successful. There's nothing like making someone successful. If you give him all the best knowledge and all the best strategies and he's lazy, and he doesn't want to do the work, and he doesn't want to follow rules, and he doesn't want to stick to the rules, he's not following what you're telling him to do, he's never going to be successful. That's it. Right? So take care, everybody. Poor money management, you can do poor money management and still be successful, right? That's not a key. You want to see money management I do? You will go crazy if you look at my trades and you'll think, oh God, this guy has no money management. It has nothing to do with that, right? If you see my account, you'll probably go crazy. My traders seen it. They know what I'm talking about. You will say, oh my God, what is he doing? There is no money management there, right? But that's it. I know what I'm doing. That's the whole thing. I have the knowledge based on how I'm trading. That is what is more important. Okay, guys, it's been a long webinar. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for coming. I didn't stop the YouTube.